This may be high, but, I thought Von Miller, number 4, edge rusher, Rams. How much money do you think a guy like this would cost the Eagles? Big Silz in for Harry Mays. Barrett Brooks here on the middle. Thanks for joining us here. We really appreciate it. Combine start, I believe, the 3rd of March in Indianapolis.
Yeah, they're just getting in now. All the athletes are getting in, and the first guys are on the field at the offensive line. I think running backs and I think they start on Thursday. On the field stuff on Thursday. They got,
would you go to it?
Yes, I've been to. I was going to the combine up until I started with NBC. I did a lot of that with NFL Films because since I played for half the daggone coaches in the NFL, they would send me up and I do coaching interviews. And when they would send me up, I'd see guys interviewing for a minute. Hey, and I wouldn't ask them anything about what their draft picks or anything like that. But just sitting back and just chopping it up with them. And it kind of blew NFL Films away because I would get little pieces and nuggets, indirectly from just talking to him like one of the guys, and it got to
loosens him up.
It got to a point for like 5 years. I would get, just key stuff, that would help, help us with stories, but then it kind of pushed us in the direction of where that team was going. I remember I did Harbaugh and John Harbaugh, and it just so happened that year I got both the Harbaugh brothers the year before they went to the Super Bowl that year. And I asked them why, what would happen if both those guys were in the Super Bowl and they ended up playing in the Super Bowl. So we took their answers that I had and, made a little show out of it.
I like it. Made a little collage out of it.
Yep.
And going back and forth. I like it here. All right.
Before they even knew they were going to go to the Super Bowl.
That was some Super Bowl too. And for the record, if the power doesn't go out, I don't know if can you imagine if Kaepernick would have won that Super Bowl and what the difference would have been in his history if he wins that Super Bowl? That power don't go out against the Ravens.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
Exactly.
I thought they were in control.
Yep. And when you look at that, what I'm saying, that's a lot to say of how his whole outcome of his season and how his life would have been changed, if he was a Super Bowl champion that took a kneel.
Absolutely. Right. It would have been a whole different world here. Okay. Barrett, I put the top 30 NFL free agents. And I asked a bunch of general managers, and I talked to some of the people at Bledsoe, the people that put on actually the scouting camp. And this is how they're looking at the free agents here. I'm going to go from 1 through 30 here. Devontae Adams, wide receiver, Packers, probably something that we're not going to see.
We're definitely not going to see it.
Not going to see the Eagles look at this for numerous reasons because Devontae's not going to go any one of these top wide receivers. Do we agree, Barrett? They're not coming to Philadelphia because they don't trust Jalen can get them the ball.
Yep.
Right?
That's it in a nutshell.
Number 2, Tyron Armstead, tackle, Saints. What do you make of him?
I thought he's been a good player. He's been a perennial Pro Bowler the past 4 or 5 years. He's a great pass blocker, and he's okay at running a run blocker, but he's had some issues. All last year, he was in and out of the lineup. In fact, he didn't play a lot last year, which really hurt that Saints team. So I think his injuries are a big factor on what a team is going to do to sign him going forward.
You think Cincinnati would look at a guy like this?
Absolutely, they would. Him being there solidifies the left tackle position, and he can play there for a long time. He's just got to stay healthy. But he's worth the risk of going out and signing a guy. You rarely get
right
a perennial Pro Bowl left tackle hit the free agent market. Usually it's a sign. You sign him to a long-term deal or you trade him. But yeah, his contract's gonna be up there.
Number 3 is Chris Godwin, wide receiver, Buccaneers. You think again? Here's a guy that. Even with Jameis Winston, people forget that 7-9 season with Jameis Winston, he did throw for 5,000 yards that year.
Right.
I know he had 30 picks. Hey, there's the original 30 for 30 there. 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, right? Okay. But here's another guy. I mean, I know people keep telling me, hey, man, I'd love to have him with the Philadelphia Eagles, man. But again, these top flight wide receivers that are going to command big money in the open market are not going to go to a place. I mean, look, like I said, look at Cooper Kupp with a Super Bowl quarterback's arm. Guy put up legendary numbers. Godwin and Adams see that. They're not going to go someplace with a project or somebody that can't get him the ball.
Well, he has the unique skill set that he does everything good. You know, he's a good route runner. He has good hands. He could stretch the field. He's pretty good against contested balls. He does a lot of the little things very, very good. He's good speed, but I don't know if he's one of the elite level receivers in free agency. I don't know if he's not hit that elite level, but he is a very, very good receiver in free agency right now.
This may be high, but, you know, I thought Von Miller, number 4, edge rusher, Rams. How much money do you think a guy like this would cost the Eagles?
He's going to want Super Bowl winning numbers type of money.
But his age helps other teams keep that salary down.
Yes, but he's the perfect
So you think
guy.
You think he's going to chase a bag of money and not really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's looking for the money. I think that he is perfect for what they've been doing the past couple of years, getting these older players who they think have just enough left in to come in and be an impact type of player in the defense. They're looking for guys like him, Chandler Jones type of guys. He'll fit perfectly into that veteran presence that just won a Super Bowl, just like they had with Chris Long, just won a Super Bowl, but come in and be an impact player on third down. And this is going to ask him to play on third down. He will be that guy for them.
Number 5, you mentioned him, Chandler Jones, edge rusher, Cardinals. 100-sack guy. He's been, in my opinion, one of the best sack guys hidden out on the West Coast in the NFL that people really have slept on. I mean, he's a 100-sack guy. I mean, that usually gets you in a conversation for potential Hall of Fame stuff. I mean, he had 10.5 sacks, and as I told you, he had 5 against the Titans, so that number's a little skewed. I know he was banged up a little bit this year. Is that a little too pricey right there? Because he's going to command at least $17, $18 million if you're going to try to bring him in. Am I off base when I say that?
No, you're absolutely right, which kind of puts him out of the price range for the Eagles. Eagles want a deal, and he was not necessarily a deal that they could really afford to go out there and
they'd
sign.
rather go in the draft, right, and play on a rookie contract.
Yes, exactly. And, but even though he fits exactly what they're looking for, a veteran guy to come in, just play on third down, that's just too much for him to be paid to just be a third down guy. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, he sucks against the run.
He does.
He's like Velcro.
Yeah, you can run him over.
Run. Yeah.
You can. I've seen it. You're right. That's how you stop a really great pass rusher. You beat him up for a quarter and a half.
Yep. Put your hands on him.
Nothing to get around that hula hoop in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
That's how you beat him up. Okay, here's somebody that's interesting. Number 6, J.C. Jackson, cornerback, Patriots. It's a need, too, for the Eagles. Do you go in free agency here? Too pricey? Or do you go into the draft? I've got the Eagles taking a corner. However, that would change if they addressed it in free agency here coming up in a couple weeks. J.C. Jackson. Plus, he's been coached by Belichick. Too pricey?
He's going to be a little pricey, but I believe that they would spend money still on him because he's kind of young. He's not an older player. He's young, and they flip-flop DBs all the time with the Patriots. They got Chung for a little while. They just sent, a guy up there and Jalen Mills. They go back and forth with DBs all the time. Asante Samuels, came from there. So
they moved off for Revis when Revis was in his prime. They were not going to give him a contract.
Yep. So he's somebody that I think they would definitely entertain. He's probably one of the top free agent corners in this free agency. I think that's somebody they would spend money on him. Opposite of of Big Play Slay, that's a good pick for him if they were to go out there and facilitate that deal.
Here's a guy that I do think that they're going to eyeball also. Marcus Williams, safety Saints. It's another need back there in the secondary, and he's sitting at 7. They're going to have $30 million in cap space. This guy's got some ball in him, and he's a good football player. He's got the age there that you're looking for. He's in the high 20s. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not safeties to me. It's a tough putt because these guys, they play the linebacker position. They set your defense. They're so important, and yet they're so underappreciated. What would you think Howie would look at him with Marcus Williams?
Because they've dealt with a safety from the Saints before, they see some familiarity. He just played with alongside of
Lattimore.
I'm talking about the safety, Malcolm Jenkins. He just played with Malcolm.
Yep.
So he and Malcolm have a great chemistry together. And from hearing what Malcolm says about playing in Philadelphia and being in Philadelphia and the mere fact, he can come in and be that Malcolm Jenkins type of player, I think they would spend a little money on him also.
What I did in the draft, I said the Chargers are going to take a wide receiver, the kid Wilson from Ohio State, because here at number 8, Mike Williams, wideout, Chargers. The Spanos I don't know, Barrett, if you had any experience dealing with them, but they're very cheap. And Joey Bosa sat out his first 4 games because they were bitching over $300,000 in his contract. I mean,
what?
Yeah, they just don't spend dough when it comes to any position outside of the quarterback. They don't spend a lot of money. Plus, they have Keenan Allen on the other side. Tom Telesco knows to keep that budget down. So, I mean, do they franchise him? That means it's like a big number for that salary cap. So, does he get on the open market? What's your take on Mike Williams?
He's going to get on the open market. I don't believe they're going to give him the money.
I don't either.
He's going to be looking. He's going to be looking for 18 mil, 17
20 million. He's going to want 20 million.
So,
you think the Eagles would pay 20 million for a receiver?
Hell no. I don't see anybody paying that for Mike Williams either.
I don't either.
I see him as a really, really good number 2 receiver. Now, is that worth $20 million? No. I can see paying him 15, but not $20 million. He is not a $20 million impact player that you could throw the ball up to, and he's going to come out there and Debo somebody to take it. He had his last game is the game that people are going to be looking at. What's going to stick out in their mind, that he went out there and almost willed that win by himself. But he didn't play like that all year. You know what I mean? And that's the only thing. He played well against the Eagles, though, so, it's a possibility. But I can't see him as a guy that they're going to go out and pay $20 million in. They'll give him 15, 16, but not 20.
Number 9 is Allen Robinson, wide receiver, Bears. Now, look at who he had. Justin Fields, Mitchell Trubisky, whatever you think of Mitchell. What's the other guy? Andy Dalton and Nick Foles. And, I mean,
I get it.
Okay, but his talent, according to scouts, say that, you put him, like, say, on a Rams team. This guy's a 1,300 yard guy if he's got the other guy feeding him the rock. So, I mean, then again, this guy, to me, doesn't fit the Philly profile because Jalen struggles still. I don't know if you're going to go into the open market. People keep saying that the Eagles need to go out and get a wide receiver in free agency. Why? You're not building your team that way.
Yep.
You're building your team to run the ball. You're not building it to throw the ball. And whatever you think you're doing, Barrett, on wanting to look like a prolific passing team, you don't have the guy.
Right.
And why would you go get Allen Robinson for $13 million?
I think that they will do that. I think they will get – Allen Robinson fits their mold. of an explosive guy that everybody like, all right, look at us. See, we told you so. Allen Robinson is a guy, nobody really expected him to be as good as he is. He's never had a quarterback. I mean, when I say he's never had a good quarterback be throwing to him. Not when he was with down at Jacksonville, nor has he had a good quarterback throwing to him while he was with the Bears. So he's really untapped. We don't know how good of a player he could be until he gets to an elite level quarterback. Jalen is not that, but I think that, he's going to try to, be that guy, and I think
they're building this team for someone else.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Do I want him to? No. Am I throwing shade at Jalen? No. But I do know the front office and I know the owner, and he wants a Tom Brady-X type of offense. That's what he wants.
Because when I look at Cleveland, if I was Aaron Rodgers, there's one place to go and win games. With all that talent offensively, dude, if I was a quarterback in this league, I know Cleveland, okay? Cleveland, I get it. But, dude, Chubb, Hunt, Jarvis Landry, I mean, the tight end, the defense on the other side.
Those tight ends. They got tight ends.
That's a ready-for-made championship football. I think that roster is as good as the Rams, if not better.
There's no question about that. They just lack the quarterback to wield that team.
Absolutely.
They have everything you need. The offensive line is good.
Like if I'm Russell Wilson, I look at Cleveland and go, man, I go in there and win. I win a Super Bowl with that roster. Yep. I would win a Super Bowl. Here's a guy at number 10. I'm curious to get your impression on, because I don't think he played very well last year. And I think this team gave up a boatload for him. Number 10 is Orlando Brown, tackle, Chiefs. I just didn't think he really played that hot last year. Maybe it's a new system. It's Andy Reid. I don't know. But that did not look like Orlando Brown Ravens. Orlando Brown. It was a different guy, or maybe I'm not seeing something here.
I'm just be honest, and I'm just my honest evaluation. I don't see him as a guy. He doesn't finish. He stops the initial rush, slows him down, but then after that he slows down. He doesn't finish the play. I don't see any finish in.
So you get him on the second move?
Oh, no question about that. You're gonna get him on the second move, and because he's gonna play laxed. He might get out there real fast, start the block, but he's not gonna finish the block. He rarely. To me, I watched a lot of tape on him. He's just so big. That's what made him imposing to people. But it's not like he was a finisher. I mean, that defensive ends weren't getting out of a hot, getting in a cold whirlpool after they play him. They're ready to go out and party after they play him because he never finished them. He never beat them up. So, it's like, all right, I'm ready to go out and practice after playing against a guy like him. And when you play against a guy that big, you should feel it, right after the game, you should feel it in the morning. You should feel like you were in a street fight after you play a guy as big as him. And I don't see that. I didn't see them, anybody really, him dominating anybody, throughout the season. He was okay.
Do you agree, Barrett, that the truly spectacular pass rushers, it's the second move that always worries you? Because how many times have you played against a guy? And this was my issue when you see in college, you do a swim or you do a rip or you do a bat or you do a crosshand chop spin, you're going to beat these guys.
Yep.
But what I found out in the NFL, your feet and these offensive linemen in the NFL are so freaking good, and you guys are so imposingly big and athletic that, man, you can say you bull rush. Okay, well, a bull rush to people, that's a win for him unless I can make a second move. Yep. If I don't make that second move off you, you win that. You get the plus, I get the minus. Even if I may push the pocket back. Now, if you get a Vince Wilfork and he's breaking and collapsing the pocket on a bull rush, he's going to get the plus on you because the quarterback couldn't step up. But don't you agree that those great ones, like Reggie, like you said, if Reggie on the hump, if you kind of settled on him, he'd take that thing out and he's over the top on you,
yep,
or he's hooking you and flipping you.
Yep.
Bruce Smith had a second move. That's the difference, isn't it?
That second move, you got to be ready for. That first initial move, they know guys in the league are good enough to stop the first initial move, like Speed the Bull or chop your hand spin. It's that second or third move that makes you elite, and that's what hurts Orlando Brown, because he's not going to finish. He's going to slow down. If you show any type of slowing down, he's slowing down faster than you're slowing down. And I don't understand why you want to, why you don't want to just beat the guy up. I wanted to make sure that the guy that I played against, I wanted to make him quit, during this game. I want to say, man, I'm tired of battling this guy. I'm tired of fighting with this guy every single play. It was a street fight every single play. With him, it wasn't a street fight. If you beat him on his first move, then you're getting to the quarterback, because he didn't finish plays, man. He's just not a finisher.
I thought that's what I thought made Jason Peters so great. I thought he was a guy that wanted to beat you up. He had great feet, length in his arms too. Personally, hey Barrett, I don't know, people may outside of Philly not know this, but I think he's a Hall of Famer.
He's absolutely going to get
I think he's a Hall of Fame player, because when you watch the way he played the tackle position and how he moved his hands and how he would how he set guys up too, and his sets and keeping his feet moving constantly for a big dude. Dude, they called his ass out of retirement. I saw him playing with the Bears. I was like, holy shit, this guy could still play, man. I mean, I thought he was finished. Jason
Peters was the best, not just left tackle, but he was the best offensive lineman for like a 5-year stretch. You know what I'm saying? He was he still is a Hall of Fame candidate. He's probably a first ballot guy. That's how good Jason Peters is. Jason Peters, man, I've seen him lock people. I've seen him make guys quit. Guys come off the ball, and when they come off the ball and they just start looking.
They lay on you.
They start looking instead of pass rushing. He made guys do that more times than not.
Dude.
That's when you got a guy, you ain't worried about it, because they're not, you try to block them and they just stop, looking around to see where the ball, where's the ball at,
You're over the sideline. Hey, can somebody come in for me right now?
Right.
All right, look, I stopped at 10. We'll pick it up after the top of the hour here. We got a bunch, and I think as we move closer down, I think some of these guys may fit some of the needs that we're talking about for the Eagles. He's Barrett Brooks. I'm Dan Sileo in for Harry Mays. Back in 3.